What's up, y'all? I'm back, and I'm sorry for not posting for 2 days. That was on me. I just was having some issues with writing and thinking about stuff. So anyway, I decided to post today, and you can tell by the thumbnail what this what if is. So yeah, I'm gonna start it off. So that's why the floor is so empty. Naruto muttered. He was wondering why there wasn't any neighbors. Turns out Lucifer had made it like that intentionally. Rias had told Zenobia and Irene Irina that they could stay next door to Naruto and Rias and that they would be eating together. So Naruto could say that his evening wouldn't be very relaxing. So, are you guys okay with ramen? Naruto asked. Ramen? The gods don't serve ramen. Naruto sighed. Why? What is up with this world and the absence of ramen? Naruto asked, confusing the two visitors. She just rolled her eyes. It's not this world, it's you. You're the one who craved ramen. Ramen wasn't that popular in the elemental nations. Really? I remember meeting a lot of people around Uchiraku. That's because they knew they would meet you there. They were there for you, not for the ramen. Krama sighed. Ugh. I wake up and all I hear is you bitching about ramen. Well, then go back to sleep then, Naruto just said, keying his door. Well, this is our home. I guess there's a key for the other door somewhere. He glanced at Rias. Yeah, I'll go get them. Keep them company while I'm gone. And, Rias left to the back hallway. And Naruto was left to awkwardly stand with the church members. Again, the energy Rias left behind clashed with the energy radiating from the cross. And Naruto was starting to wonder why he was doing it. Well, welcome to Cold Town, Naruto said, trying to fill the silence. He never did like silence. It reminded him of his early years before the Ninja Academy. Oh, excuse me. Oh, thank you, Irina said. She seemed more friendlier than the other one. Um, I grew up here, but I moved away. Oh, Naruto raised his eyebrow. Then you probably know the place better than I do. Haven't been here in years, and I got here a week ago, Naruto admitted. This place is very different from where I grew up. What happened to your eye? Zenobia, that's rude. It's fine. Rias was just as confused about it. Naruto pointed in his eye. It actually doesn't really belong to me. It was my friend's, but, well, some fights don't always go the way you want them to go. He trailed off. And your arm? Ah, same fight. That one. That took a lot out of me. Naruto shook his head. But you shouldn't be expecting a story about it, he said. I don't give the story of my life that easily, even though that's a lie. But let me just say, don't get on Rias' bad side, because I will enforce her rules whether you like it or not. I'm back. Rias appeared in the hallway. She walked towards Irina, dropping the keys in her hand. The room is just outside and to the left. Drop your stuff off and I'll make dinner. She attempted to smile, but to Naruto, it was a fake smile. So the two girls slowly walked out of the apartment and closed the door behind them. Naruto let out a sigh. Yeah, he wasn't a real enemy to the angels, but his friends were. And that made things very difficult to diffuse tension. Finally, Rias groaned as she sat down on the couch. Why did I have to be so difficult? She muttered. Well, Naruto sat down next to her. They do make a point. I know you would never team up with the fallen angels, but They have to assume that everyone is against them, especially considering how much energy those Excalibur fragment pieces were radiating. Rias glanced over at him. But it's nothing to you, is it? She leaned back. With barely an effort, you could shatter the bitches with just your fingertips. Probably, but I might have all this power, but it ain't really all that. Sure, I could use my power, but I really like to not really use it that much. And Rhea, she understand. And so, yeah, that's that's why it's up to people like us to make it fair for other people. Naruto stuck his thumb into his chest. We're leaders, Riz. I have power and you have loyalty. If we teach them well, then we'll see how it goes from there. And so on and so forth until majority of the people agree with us. Then we can just hope things get better. So, alright, time skip a little till a little later. So, this is ramen, Zenobia pointed at the bowl of noodles. Naruto had already finished his and was about to get up for some seconds. Irina and Rias were eating slowly, something that Naruto was incapable of doing. Yeah, it's good. And Naruto grinned, scooping up some more and some more ramen. Working with just one hand, making it difficult. But Naruto, he made it work. Just try it. Zenobia glanced at Irina, who smiled at her. She looked back at a bowl with a few noodles near her mouth. Naruto nodded, trying to encourage her to eat it. He could sense it. As a ramen connoisseur, he could tell that she would love it. So, she blew the steam off of the air and finally she decided to eat it. It took a second, but Naruto could see the gleam in her eye. And he knew he was right. She loved it. Ugh, I hate that fact that you can tell. What is up with you and ramen? Naruto is the food of gods, Kurama. It's a blessing. Ugh. Well, how is it? Rias smiled. It's good, Zenobia said. Well then, I'm glad. Rias went back to her own bowl. It's all Naruto wants to eat, so I was hoping I was doing good with it. I eat other things. Ramen is just the best, Naruto argued, slurping down on some more ramen. True, yeah. After she forced you to try her omelets. Can you shut up, Kurama? Naruto shouted back. He was observed. He observed the table. Wait, hold up. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to sneeze real quick. Irene seemed chill, and Zenobia wasn't attacking Rias. And Rias was preoccupied with her thoughts. Finally, there was minimal amount of tension present. Now, if he could just keep it this way, his evening would go well. So, what was your home like? Rias asked suddenly. Rias glanced up, before moving her eyes towards Naruto. She raised an eyebrow. Hey, I told you, you're not getting a story about my life. Naruto set his bowl down. I haven't even finished telling Rias, and she's my best friend. And Rias, she kind of snickered a bit, feeling more important than before. But a best friend, she wouldn't have to step it up if she wanted Naruto to ask her out. Couldn't you just tell us a bit? Nope, sorry. Naruto shook his head. My life is complicated, and it will take too long to talk about it. Irene let it go, feeling disappointed. Naruto, he leaned back. He didn't really want people knowing about his life. Not because he was scared, but because he didn't want to feel like his life was a show. wasn't really supposed to be entertainment. It was his life. It had shaped him to become the person he is right now. And it wasn't for anybody except for him. But you told Riz. And she's helping me work through the hard parts, Karama. It wasn't a mistake. I know it was the right thing to do, but I remember when you would have given everything for someone to listen to the story of your life. You know, for someone who hated me, you sure take the time to remember things about when I was young. Well, it's not like there was anything else to do, Kramer shouted. I would have gone insane of boredom. Yeah, sure, but it's nice to know you care. Yeah, whatever, Kramer muttered. Riz had been listening to the conversation between Irina and Zenobia, but the small smile appeared on Naruto's face, caught her eye. He seemed, what's a good word? Grateful, yeah. And for once, it truly met his eye for how much of a loudmouth troublemaker Naruto was. His smile could never really reach deep with anyone, but it was a surface level. But he never really truly seemed to be happy about something. He just kind of wore a mask. And Riz didn't know how to get him to leave some of his past behind. It was like this, right? No, I think it was angled slightly upwards. Damn it! And Naruto laying on his bed. He knew he'd been having trouble going to sleep lately, so he's been taking some more personal stuff. I ain't gonna say nothing, cause he's been taking some personal stuff to help him sleep. Still awake, Naruto looked up at Riz's door. At his door, Riz was standing in the doorway, and so Naruto was like, "Yeah," as he looked down at the paper on his desk. I'm still working on this seal, but I'm working on the seal that I remember from the back of the academy. Really? Riz walked towards Naruto. It says endurance. I know it does, but that's not what it means. Naruto ignored the fact that she was smothering him. It was actually the seal my dad used. He would mark things with this seal, and he was able to teleport it at any time. He used to attach seal to a kunai, and he would throw dozens of them at a single time. He had complete control of the battlefield when he uses this. This is why he was called a Yellow Flash. He sounds pretty cool. Yeah, I wanted to be like him, Naruto smiled. Then I met him and found out he was my father. It was a pretty big deal to me. I got pretty mad for a while because I knew that the Hokage was the one who sealed Kurama inside me. And when I found out that my father did that to me, Naruto trailed off. But Maria, she got the idea. Well, why are you trying to make his teleportation seal? Doesn't your Rinnegan let you teleport? Well, yeah, but to somewhere I can sense. Or somewhere I've been before. Naruto explained, and I forgot this fact, but the Rinnegan has a 5-second cooldown. That's not too long for you, but for fights I've decided in that time I was able to beat pain because of the cooldown. Naruto looked back at the seal, brushing a bit of the edge off the seal. So, since I'm not great at using it, I was thinking of using the flying rising to teleport. There's no cooldown for it, and you're only limited by your chakra. so you'll be able to use it endlessly forever. Yeah, Naruto said, brushing the paint. I know I probably won't need it, but as a shinobi, we're always supposed to be prepared for the worst. Naruto stepped back. Red stepped back, and Naruto stood grabbing the slip of the paper. Now what? I'm going to test it. Naruto stared at the slip of the paper. Activating his Sharingan, he pushed a small amount of chakra into the letters. It floated evenly and it seemed stable enough. Naruto attached it to the wall. I'm going to teleport from the living room to here. With that, he walked out of the room. Riz watched him leave, sitting down on his bed. It was difficult at night. Naruto never seemed finished. He was always working on something. Usually he was shifting through dimensions, trying to find his way home. She suddenly watched in silence. He created a portal. She stared through it and then moving on to the next dimension until he was too tired to keep going. And apparently these other dimensions had strange things too. One kid had blue fire arching around him, and another had soldiers using magic circles to transmute things. She used to think that heaven, earth, and the underworld were the only dimensions and the dimensional gap between them. But now she knew better, and that knowledge kind of shook her a bit. And what happened to her if a person from another dimension attacked them? Would they be as strong as Naruto? Probably not. She was snapped out of her thoughts when the seal on the wall began to brighten. It was only for a split second, but it soon turned her attention towards it. She was suddenly blinded by a bright flash of yellow. She covered her eyes. Yes, it worked. It worked? Rias asked, trying to get the paint out of her eyes. Yes, I did it, Naruto cheered, holding his hand over the seal. Now, I just need to copy it into my chakra networks, and I can slap this seal onto anything I want. And so Rias stared at Naruto, who seemed to be conversing with Krama. Based on the changes of his expression, for once he seemed proud. He was pretty happy, I would say. Like, let's just say, let's talk about as you as a person. Like, you want to do something, and you've been trying really, really hard to do it, and you finally got it, and so now you just got that happy feeling. So yeah, that's what Naruto got. And so yeah, now I can put this seal on people too. Naruto turned towards Rias. The seal had disappeared from the paper. So no matter where you are, I can appear by your side. Just tap it and I'll come. I promise. He grinned. Where do you want it? Right here, Rias pointed to her heart. Would that be alright? She knew that Naruto didn't realize that she wanted it over her heart, although all he seen was her pointing at her titty. But she wanted to know that Naruto would be there for her whenever she needed. Alright. I got you. And so, with the nightgown Rias got on ain't really covering anything. Alright, it shouldn't be that much of a problem. And so, Naruto, he put the seal on her. And so, with the active Sharingan, so Naruto could see the chakra he would be ejecting. He laid his hand on her breast, covering her nipple, slowly trying to see how much chakra could he be pushing into her. And with Naruto's determination, along with trying to hide his embarrassment, however, the moment Naruto began to filter chakra into her, she felt strange. His chakra seemed to, I don't know, seemed to fix some problems, which I ain't gonna say because YouTube. And Naruto felt her shift and tried to concentrate as his hand sunk in deeper into her breast. Honestly, he was super tempted to squeeze, just touch a bit, but nah, he had to concentrate. He was almost done. And Rhea, she over her moaning, and she wasn't really sure whether it was Naruto or if it was the chakra. But she never. She kind of leaned over a bit, and and his hands sunk all the way into her chest, kind of like how Sasuke did Sakura. And so with that, she felt Naruto's hand squeeze, and Maria's never told anyone this, not even Akano, but her breast had erotic zones. Whether she had the urge, her breast made it feel even better. So it was fair to say that she couldn't really control what was about to happen next. And so with that, I'm gonna end it right there. Yeah, I know. I'm a bit of an asshole for that. But hey, I gotta chill right there. I don't know. Do I wanna make this, I guess I should mention that this is 18 plus, huh? Anyway, this is the end of the what if. Comment down below, leave a like, subscribe if you want to, and tell me what did you like the most. And so, until next time, peace. I'm out.